as THQ has now officially closed its doors forever and the auction is completed, I felt it was a good time to talk about how THQ got to this point and then sum up the results of the auction. Um, THQ had problems for a while, but I'd say it was back in 2006 that the ball really started getting rolling. There was this meme among the managers that if we could just cut long-term support patching, they can make money back. True to a degree, because you no longer have to support the product. It's only costing you money after it's launched. But people got the idea that THQ is going to release buggy products. I remember Dark Crusade coming out and really needing at least 3 or 4 more patches and shutting support really quickly. A lot of people bailed on future products. I remember even as late as Dawn of War 2's patch cycle, people thinking it was going to be dropped all of a sudden, when really for a while they had realized their error and gone back and patched games heavily after that. But people are far more likely to remember negative performance rather than positive performance. Even still, I would say they really weren't in that bad a shape. Stocks were going down, market share was losing, but they could come back. And then they came up with this product called the U-Draw. On the Wii, it was a big hit because that was the kind of thing that the audience was marketed to. It's kind of not really a child's toy, but something kids would have fun with. And then they tried to port it out to the PS3 and the Xbox 360, and it's a very different crowd there. And if you wanted a Wii, you probably owned one already. So people who had just PS3s or Xboxes and not Wii's wouldn't be interested in this anyway. They lost over 100 million on it, and that's what started on the big downward spiral, because they lost so much money. They had to cut a lot of studios. Stupidly, they cut a lot of the small little portable games, like from phones and cheap little things that cost sell only for $1 or two, but they were a good revenue stream up until that point, and shifted over completely into trying to make these blockbuster games. Homefront being probably the most famous of it. They were really honestly hoping this would be a Call of Duty seller. It wasn't. People made fun of the storyline significantly. Well, the game, I'm told, isn't bad. It really would never have made its marketing back. They were expecting at least 2 to 3 million sold. It only sold 1 million. Space Marine sold about the same, and you can tell just by the DLC which one made a lot more money. Space Marine, I think, had like four or five skin packs, 2 map packs. They were planning on another, and they ran out of money. Homefront only has 1 map pack and I think 2 skin packs. It bombed rather badly. I know they're making a Homefront 2. 1 million is still enough to get a sequel, but it didn't sell like they wanted it to, and they were really honestly banking on it. Their focus on big games really hurt them in the long run, because you needed more money to make them, and THQ already had the moniker of being the cheap game studio that would just throw games out on $1 and just shortchange people in the long run. Didn't help them. I know with Darksiders 2 there was a big problem with marketing as well, that people, a lot of it was saying the triumphant return to PC gaming, and they promised a great deal at launch that didn't occur until I think about 3 or 4 weeks later. I personally didn't care, but a lot of people felt betrayed by this, having been promised mod support and all this to it, and it never really materialized. So the sales suffered quite badly. It sold about 1 million, I believe, and they were expecting at least 2. That was essentially their problem, expecting far too much and putting too much down. And then they got into trying hold on for just a little bit longer. Cash reserves dwindling. They took out a line of credit with Wells Fargo that ultimately killed them. Cut all their 2013 games and pushed them back to 2014. If they had those small little studios making the little app games, they would have had a revenue stream coming in, possibly convince the investors to give them 1 more year. And then with Company of Heroes 2 and everything else coming out, I think another Saints Row game as well, Dawn of War 3, they probably would have had enough money to keep people happy for just a little while longer. But without that revenue stream, the investors have just been sick of it and just said, no, time to cash out, bankruptcy, auction everything off. And on to the auction. Unsurprisingly, Relic sold the most for 28.9 million, being Crown Jewel and Crown and Scepter and Throne Room of THQ's studio stable. They sold them off to Sega. I'm quite surprised Sega's still around, and it leaves me in quite this strange little conundrum. I'm a Nintendo kid. I didn't like Sega, and now I have to. But on the positive sides, Sega owns the right to Warhammer Fantasy, and they're trying to get Warhammer 40k at the same time. So potentially we could have another Space Marine game, Dawn of War 3 definitely, and even possibly a Total War 40k game. It's what we've wanted for a while, so hey, silver lining in every cloud. Volition and Saints Row got sold off to Koch Media for 22.3 million. I don't really familiar with Koch Media. I know they did Dead Island. They could possibly do something interesting with Saints Row. It's kind of a goofy game to begin with, so as long as they don't serious it up too much, hey, this is a game where you can go parachuting off a skyscraper and not die on impact, so why not? They also got the rights to publishing Metro, the Metro series. Metro itself is being developed by an independent Russian firm, so they weren't part of this sale. They're still going to be fine as far as I'm aware. Metro 2034 is coming out, I think, next year, maybe the year after. I've seen some of the videos on it, and I'm a little concerned. The stealth part in the beginning, yeah, that looks nice. He doesn't need to kill those guards. Uh-oh, he just picked up a minigun. He's mowing people down left and right. I don't like this. I'm seriously going to wait for the reviews of this game to come out before I consider buying it, because it looks like it's going in the Call of Duty area, and I don't want to buy Metro for that. No one made a bid for Vigil or the Darksiders series, so Dark Millennium, who knows where it's at, but it's probably going over with Sega. Quite surprised about the Darksiders series, and EA or Activision didn't make a bid for any of these, and it's really out of character for them to want to whore things out, and Darksiders already seems to be going in that direction in any case. Crytek got the rights to Homefront, $500,000. They're currently making the game, so they could do something interesting with it now that they don't have to worry about getting it out as fast as possible. And on the subject of homes, nobody has made a bid for Homeworld. As far as I know, it's not up for sale yet. I don't know too many people who'd be interested in it. It's a fairly old rights situation. Well, I'd like to see Homeworld 3. It's a very old game. I don't see anyone making it at this point in time. THQ Publishing got Evolve for $10.8 million. It was being developed by Turtle Rock Studios. Turtle Rock themselves made a bid for it, so I have a feeling they're independent as well. I couldn't figure it out after a couple of Google searches, but they're probably going to live through this. Personally, I hope Take-Two takes them up on the offer to go continue developing, as they're already working on it. It makes sense. Ubisoft got the rights to publish the South Park game, Stick of Truth, I think it is, $3.2 million, and THQ Montreal $2.5 million, along with the IPs 1666 and Underdog. Haven't found much about those two games. Probably nowhere near completion. I know the South Park game was getting close to being done, so probably see those games out within, I'd say, half a year to a year. Now, Ubisoft undoubtedly has money, and, well, the Assassin's Creed franchise is slowly winding down. They're probably going to need something to push it off with. So, hope you enjoyed this little 8-minute lecture talk about THQ. I'll think of something else to do next time. Hope you enjoyed this, so until next time.